I tested out 4 different ways to clean brass, some DIY blends and some compared to store-bought brands. I am sharing how each cleaner worked and also my favorite way to clean brass after trying out this experiment. You can see that I need to clean up the brass behind me on this fan, so stay tuned. I'm going to share with you at the end of the video my favorite combination of cleaners to make brass shiny again. Today, we're going to take this tarnished brass hardware and try 4 different ways to clean it. We're going to try ketchup, we're going to try lemon and salt, vinegar and salt, and then we're also going to try Brasso. I've used each of these individually, but never really compared them on the same hardware, so we're kind of going to see which one is the best. All right, first step is to check and make sure you actually have a solid piece of brass hardware rather than a piece that is just coated with brass. So to do that, take a magnet, put it on it, and if it sticks, then you do not have a solid piece of brass. If it does not stick, like here, this is not sticking, this is brass hardware. The way I'm going to show you to clean this really only works if you're working with solid brass. If you're working with something that is brass coated or plated, you cannot leave it in the solution as long as I'm going to show you in this video. It will take off the entire coating on top for some of these. So you just always want to test first, and if it is brass coated, just know that you don't really want it to sit in the mixtures that you make. You can see here, like that's close to the original finish, so that's what we're going for, but this part is obviously tarnished. So we're going to try out these 4 methods and see which one works the best. First up, we're going to try ketchup. What a waste of organic ketchup, but whatever, it's all we had in the fridge. So I'm going to do one of each of these so we can compare on all 4 of them later. For this one, all you do is you're going to take the ketchup and kind of squirt it on there, and then we're going to use this is just a bristle brush. It's not a wire brush. A toothbrush, an old toothbrush also works well for that. We're going to use that to kind of spread it on there. And here we just want to make sure that the ketchup is coating it. Probably need a little more. Next up, salt and lemon. For this one, I kind of put salt on the bottom, and then I just do enough lemon to kind of make a paste that we can use to spread it on the hardware. Same thing with this one. We're going to take the mixture and coat it on all of the surface. Next up is vinegar and salt, and then we'll use a little bit of flour to kind of make a paste. For this mixture, you'll add equal parts of vinegar, flour, and salt to form a paste. In the video, I added too much vinegar, and you can see it's very watery. You want it to be more of a paste that's going to stick to the surface. Plus, having this much vinegar actually, I think, affected the outcome, which you'll see a little later in the video. All right, last up is Brasso. This stuff works. I know it works. I'm interested to see if it cleans better than some of the more natural cleaners, so we're going to use it as a comparison. For this experiment, I left them all in for the same amount of time, which was 30 minutes. Usually this is the perfect amount of time, but sometimes you may need to add more. I often check my brass 15 minutes in just to make sure the cleaner isn't working too quickly as well, and I'll show you why in a minute. Use a soft bristled toothbrush to clean away the mixture, rinse it under warm water, and then immediately dry it with a clean rag. When comparing the places where the brass was shiny with the clean brass, the ketchup works pretty well. Next up, salt and lemon. Once I went through the cleaning process, I figured out that the salt and lemon and the ketchup gave very similar cleaning powers. You can see here is the ketchup and here is salt and lemon, and they look almost identical. Of course, there's still some tarnish in those grooves, but I kind of like it that way. check out what the vinegar did to this hardware. It basically removed some of the zinc, which then is changing it to copper. This will happen on any type of brass if you let it sit in the cleaner too long. Obviously, this vinegar mixture was too strong because it sat in for the same amount of times as the others. So if you use vinegar, use it with caution, maybe water it down a little bit, or make sure to add more salt and flour so you don't have as much of a high concentration of the vinegar. After cleaning with the Brasso, I put it side by side next to the hardware that had been cleaned with the ketchup, and it was a fairly comparable clean. Now, Brasso is definitely more expensive than some of these other mixtures, which is why I have a favorite way to clean brass after this experiment. Let's take a quick look at how they all turned out. First up is the ketchup, next is the lemon and salt, then the vinegar, flour, and salt, and finally the Brasso. I definitely have a favorite. All right, so my favorite way to clean brass is to clean it with ketchup, tomato sauce, or tomato paste. After rinsing it and drying it completely, I then use a little bit of Brasso and rub it on the surface. I find that Brasso works well here to just give it a little extra shine and clean up anything that's left over. You can follow along for more budget-friendly DIYs. I'll be sure to share a shorts video of this brass fan getting all cleaned up. Thanks for watching.